how to make change. That is the question that people ask whenever they're wanting to change their diet, exercise, or lifestyle behaviors. At least it is the question that they should be asking. My name is Dr. Jade Teta. I'm an integrative physician and author of the Metabolic Affect Diet. And I'm here to tell you that change, we all know this, is very, very difficult. But why is it so hard for people? One of the things that I can tell you is that when most people embark on change, whenever they want to change their habits, the first thing they do, and really the only thing they do, is make a declaration and then rush off into the world to carry out their plans. The problem is they actually did not make any plans. And that is the key behavioral distinction between people who make lasting change and those who don't. So you might say, Jade, what are the things then that I need to do to make change last? Well, there's 5 critical behaviors, 5 critical things you really need to take into consideration as you embark on change. And I want to go over those briefly for you. The first thing is to understand how the brain works. The brain is not a very good multitasker. In other words, the more things you do, the more confused the brain gets, and the more it will just default back to its own behavior. So when you embark on change, the first rule of change is to do one change at a time, not 3 or 4 different changes. The next thing you need to understand is that the brain needs a strong why behind what you're doing. In other words, the purpose for why you're changing is critical to the brain. A strong purpose is the Energizer bunny of willpower. If you're just going to rely on willpower and motivation, that will quickly give out if you don't have a strong purpose behind why you are doing what you're doing. Those 2 factors are critical, and there's actually 3 more factors that are really necessary for you to understand and achieve long-term change. And this really has to do with the planning aspect of your change. The next 3 things are really 3 questions you have to ask yourself. You have to ask yourself, what are you going to do? Specifically, what are you going to do? When are you going to do it? How are you going to fit this into your schedule? And then you want to ask, how is it going to happen? In other words, you want to look ahead in the future, predict, and look out for all the obstacles that might come up to impede this change, and figure out and scheme ways to overcome those obstacles. Those are the 5 critical things that you have to do to make change last. So I did a video on each of these 5 that I want you to check out. I go in a little more depth with each of them, but I want you to understand that if you are not looking out for these 5 elements, right? Doing one thing at a time, the big why behind your change. What are you going to do? When are you going to do it, and how you're going to do it? Change is going to be that much more difficult for you as you embark on any kind of lifestyle, diet, or exercise behavioral change. So I hope that's helpful for you. Check out the other videos to get more details on each of these critical 5 factors.